Do you read a newspaper on a regular basis? If yes, how often and why?
Yeah, I do. I almost read the newspaper like every day. And yeah, I watch the news every once in a while too.
I read the newspaper maybe like once in a while. Just the police beat. See what my friends did wrong.
I read the New York Times, the Asbury Park Press.
I find that the weekly world news has a plethora of political events, new, breaking information.
Do you read a newspaper on a regular basis?
No.
Not really.
No.
Just sports.
When I'm in it.
More of the local side to, see on some local stats in the sports section.
Cartoon section.
I don't read it because it's like too small, the words are too small.
I do read the news online, so if that counts, every day then.
So then how do you find out about things that are going on in the world?
The news. Sometimes I watch it on TV too.
The TV.
Watch TV.
See it on the news, TV.
I watch the news on TV when my dad's watching it only though.
I pretty much just like, when I see something that might interest me, I read it. And when I see something that I watch that's interesting, I watch it.
Also, word of mouth.
School, teachers, always telling us about it. A lot of really great teachers who give you a lot of information about what's going on. The internet helps a lot too. So, especially the newspaper since I get it every day.
I just go on the internet a lot.
AOL, when I sign on, I always look at the first screen.
Hey, what else can we do now except roll down the window and let the wind blow back your hair?
Jack!
Hey, Catherine, what's up? How's it going?
We're doing a show. We started. You missed your cue.
Right now?
It's already now.
Show? Are you sure? Yeah. Sorry.
We can't get the thing off your head.
I love my iPod, carry around all my music, couple thousand songs, listen to it whenever I want. I can't go without it.
I know, I understand. But now's not the time.
I'm sorry.
Not the time.
It won't happen again.
Hang on. Hi! Kind of busy,
Catherine.
but I can talk.
Excuse me. In a show? Filming right now?
Well, I gotta take this though.
Can you believe this, dude?
I'm sorry. Can I call you back in
Yeah, we're filming.
like 15 minutes? It'll be fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Sorry. I love my phone though. Look how cute. Is it got the sparkles on the front? Look, my background, my sister. Isn't she cute?
Very cute.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it seems sometimes that media's taken over our lives?
Well, I know I couldn't survive without my cell phone. It's pretty much how I stay in touch with the world.
Yeah, I have no idea how our parents survived without cell phones and iPods.
I know, and I mean TV. What did they watch? Like the Brady Bunch and Happy Days?
Yeah. I mean, we have all these cell phones, podcasts, DVRs, DVDs, CDs, text messaging. Modern media has really become a major part of our lives.
Whether we admit it or not, the media does influence the way we think, feel, act, and believe, even in matters of faith.
That's what we'll be talking about today. Modern media and religion. Hi everyone, I'm Jack.
And I'm Catherine.
And this is Realfaith TV. We'll meet our spotlight guest, Allie, later in the show. Allie is a producer's assistant in Hollywood for a variety of television series.
She will talk with us about a few of the shows she's worked on, including Seventh Heaven, a religious-based program that has been popular in recent years.
She will also talk about how her faith keeps her grounded while living in our multimedia world.
We will also talk with our studio guests. But first, let's go back to the teens on the street and find out how much time they spend using media.
And what kinds of media they watch and listen to.
Let's check it out.
I guess 1 to 3 hours a day I spend in front of the computer or watching TV.
Half an hour a day sometimes.
3 hours maybe.
About 3 or 4 hours.
2 hours.
I spend a lot of time on the computer. When I'm not in school or not hanging out with my friends, it's mostly on the computer or on my iPod.
Way too much. I need to cut down and stuff, but I'm addicted to the computer, so.
About a half hour a day. I like to, be more active. I'm a baseball player.
TV, not so much. Maybe like an hour a day. It depends if there's a sporting event. That's all I really watch.
Never on the TV, but listening to music and on the computer, about 2 hours.
3 hours a day.
I really don't go watch TV very much or listen to the radio. There's nothing really good on either, and it's a complete waste of time.
What kind of media, television shows, music do you listen to or watch, specifically?
Oh, a variety, a lot of different. I don't have one specific type.
As far as music go, I like hip hop, a little rap, more little techno.
Caribbean music and reggae.
Hip hop, rap.
Rap and hip hop. Techno. Same here. Listen to dance music.
Some rap. I listen to a lot of hip hop and R&B, and I like to watch a lot of reality shows and like MTV, BET.
I guess I just watch whatever catches my attention. And music, I like punk music and hardcore.
I watch those stupid MTV shows, you know, the Laguna Beaches or the Real World.
The show Lost, and I'm on the computer a lot, and I go on Zanga and those kind of things. And I talk to my friends on AIM.
I really do spend a lot of time with media. I mean, I'm probably on the computer for 2 or 3 hours a day. My cell phone's always in my hands, like, you know.
Oh yeah. I do the same thing. I go over my texting bill every month, and then
I'm up there in the thousands.
Oh yeah. And I talk at night on the phone, and then go on the computer with AIM and everything, and I watch a movie here and there, read some books, that kind of stuff. So I spend a lot of time with media.
Definitely. Let's meet our studio guests and see what kind of media they spend time on. They are Kira, Matt, Caitlin, Jessica, John, and Lauren.
So, how much time do you guys spend with media, and what types of media are you into?
I have to say, I probably spend a lot of time with media. I go on my computer for at least an hour a day, go on AIM, I am my friends. I always have my cell phone with me, and I'm always text messaging. And then when I'm in the car, I always have my iPod on.
Yeah, I'd say in total it's about 3-4 hours a day, like with a combination of computer, iPod. Like I listen to the radio sometimes when anything good is on, really. And I spend a lot of time on my computer, like AOL. I always chat with my friends online. It's always a good way to communicate.
Well, I love talking to people, so I'll always have my cell phone out. I'll be texting someone, be on AIM, and I have a lot of friends that don't go to my school, and then I do stuff outside of school, so I like to keep in touch with people that way.
Yeah, and I love movies, and I have IO, so it's perfect. Whenever I have free time, I just chill out in front of the TV, surf to channels for good movies.
Oh,
go ahead.
I spend most of my time on my iPod or my screen name, that type of stuff. Internet mostly.
I always do more than one thing at once. I always have my cell phone and the computer and the TV with a movie and and everyone's like, how do you do that? But you just pick what you want to watch at the certain time.
Oh yeah, sometimes I'll have my laptop in front of me on MySpace. I'll be watching a movie and on the phone with somebody else who's watching the same movie, and we're just talking about the movie. It doesn't get more pathetic than that.
Yeah. The worst is trying to do your homework on the computer, but then you're online with friends, you're downloading music at the same time, and there's always music playing, and then text messages are going off left and right.
Oh, yeah.
But what's your main source of news and information?
Well, I rarely look at a newspaper because, I don't know, they always too black and white, never really caught my attention. I usually watch the news in the morning, like Channel 5, Channel 2. That always they have good stories there. It catches me.
Yeah, for me it's a mix of, the computer, TV, and newspapers, but the internet is definitely the most easiest thing to use. And right, when you're talking online, you can always go on and check the news. So I think that's what I use most often.
Yeah, I agree with you. I get my news on the internet, mostly MSN.com, and then usually in the car, my parents will have the news station on.
I use a little bit of everything. I stick mostly towards the internet and television, but then occasionally I'll go in the newspaper and be like, oh, well, that's happening local.
I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspaper. And reading stuff online is like reading the newspaper. So I usually hear it from my friends, so they'll tell me, I don't know, highlights from a game, and I'll be like, the Red Sox won? What? Oh, yay. And so, so I'm usually behind, but I'm not bored.
Yeah, I know, I watch all the sports games and everything, so I'm up with that, but for world news, I usually go to CNN.com or something like that.
Yeah, I love CNN. I'm a big cable news junkie. I watch MSNBC all the time. Tucker Carlson, that's how I get my news.
According to a 2005 report by the Kaiser Family Foundation, young people today live media-saturated lives, spending an average of 6.5 hours a day with media.
It's no wonder that the United States Catholic bishops have said, the media is capable of leading the human race upward or to ruin.
It's important to recognize the potential for harm or for good that the media has and become discriminating viewers.
Just like with everything else in the world, we need to make good media choices.
Viewing and listening to those things affirm our beliefs and values.
And not only avoiding, but challenging those things that go against our beliefs.
Our spotlight guest, Allie, is a producer's assistant in Hollywood.
She likes to work on family shows.
Next, she'll tell us about her work as a producer's assistant and share how one actor from the series Seventh Heaven found out the hard way that not everyone appreciates people of faith being portrayed on television.
I've worked on shows such as Seventh Heaven, Miracles, Angel, Jake 2.0, and a few pilots, one for Bruckheimer Television and the other for Touchstone Television, another for TBS. Most of my job is basically administrative, answering phones, making schedule appointments, faxing, copying. But then I also have, another end of the job where it's more creative. I'll do research, I'll do proofreading on scripts, and just about anything that the producer I'm working for needs is my job. I guess the best thing about working in Hollywood is that you've got the insider's look on everything. You get to see the scripts just as they come out, so you know the storylines before all your friends do that are watching the show. You get to meet all the actors that are in the shows, and you get to work with some people that have been in the business for many, many years. So it's interesting, and it's a great, great business to be in. Generally, I pick 1-hour drama series. I love family shows. I like to pick shows that generally leave you with a good feeling, take your worries off of the day. And if I can incorporate my faith into it, it's an added bonus. The project that has to do the most with faith and that has it intertwined in it so heavily that it's almost based on faith is Seventh Heaven. You've got the father in the family who's a minister, the mother who helps out at the church, and each week the family goes to church, and you're seeing how the family interacts with one another and how they incorporate their faith into their everyday living and their everyday decisions that they make. The characters are people that you would want to be hanging around with in real life. There was one actor on one of our shows who's a male actor. His home was vandalized. They wrote church boy on his driveway, and it upset him. He told the producers of the show what happened, and they decided to write an episode about it. They wrote the episode, they shot it, it was aired, and he came in contact with the kids who he believed had done it, and he forgave them. So something positive can come out of a negative experience like that.
The Seventh Heaven series has been on air for 10 years. Have any of you ever watched it? And did you feel like it was a positive representation of a religious family?
Yeah, I've watched it before. I used to watch it a lot when I was a little bit younger, and I definitely thought it was a pretty accurate portrayal of a Christian family because I could place myself in that family, and I watched their interactions, and I could see myself interacting with my family that way.
I've watched it, and it really is a good portrayal because they use the faith in the right ways, and they show that when you make a mistake, it's okay, and that God always loves you, and that's what all Christian families do.
So are there other media projects that you guys find supportive of religious beliefs?
There are singers out there like Steve Angrazano, Tony Melendez, Rebecca St. James, who have really inspiring music. And sometimes on a bad day, it's good to listen to them and you just feel better.
Yeah, I find that U2 has a positive message in their songs, especially with Pride in the Name of Love. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. They talk about Jesus, and I think they're trying to tell people about their religion through their songs.
I really, really love when popular artists talk about God. I'm a huge Dave Matthews Band fan, and he's got several songs where he mentions God and Jesus specifically, and it's just really awesome. And there's other bands like Dispatch that really touch a lot of people.
I know on E&E they did a special series called God or the Girl, and it was basically following 4 20-year-old guys through their discernment process, and I was like, that's such a great show because they portrayed it so well as to what it really means to go through. So I definitely think there are a lot of projects out there.
Oh yeah, not just TV, but there's also, my dad's very into religious books and everything. There's all sorts of literature and everything that reinforces, religious values.
There really are a lot of different examples. You just kind of have to look for them. And I think people are hesitant to actually believe that there are Christian messages in a lot of the things that we see, but any kind of media that's generally positive, if it's not Grand Theft Auto, it's probably supporting a lot of Christian values.
And they always have good messages like underneath, like underlying messages, like
Right.
you said.
Exactly. There are lots of positive messages in the media today, but also negative messages, especially about religious issues.
Maybe not even negative so much as inaccurate or misleading.
Right. How do we filter out the good from the bad, the truth from the fiction?
Let's go back to our interview with Allie and find out where she gets her information and how she decides what to believe.
Typically, I find out about news and world events through the internet or from watching the news each night. In modern media today, there's so much information out there. You can filter it yourself and then, incorporate your beliefs and your faith and make appropriate decisions. Take all those controversies that are out there and really decide how you're gonna, what way you're gonna stand and how you're going to make decisions on a daily basis. I spend a lot of time on the internet and watching TV news programs because I'd like to be educated about everything that's happening around us. It's good for conversational sake, and it's good to be on top of the things that are happening in our world and stay involved and really have an opinion on things. I do tend to watch a lot of the young adult shows, and fortunately, a lot of the time they will incorporate religion into them. I watch Seventh Heaven, I watch Supernatural on the WB. A lot of these WB shows, which is actually being converted into the CW network, they involve faith and religion. These shows really have a sense of innocence, and it's kind of refreshing to be involved in that an hour a night when there's so many different problems that plague us every day in the world.
I agree with Allie. You do have to bring your faith and religious beliefs into the decision-making process when it comes to selecting what you will or just won't spend your time on.
You have to be informed enough about your own faith so that you're not lured in by untruths or misleading information in the media.
Do you watch any religious-themed shows? Do you think that the media represents religious people fairly?
That's what we asked the teens on the street. Let's check it out.
Here on Sunday mornings, BET, they have this religious thing going on.
Some of the bands I listen to are Christian-like, but they're metal bands.
I do watch Seventh Heaven. I think it's a cute show. I've seen the Da Vinci Code too, but I mean that's like a whole other, on a different level.
I love Passion of the Christ. I saw that movie like 5 times in a row. I was crying hysterically all the times too.
Do you think the media treats religious people fairly?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they give a good overview.
Not really.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm not really sure. I think some religious people, like Tom Cruise and them, they get treated like, lunatics. But others, I think they're pretty much treated just like everybody else.
Well, a lot of religious people are mad like weird on TV, so I guess so. But some of them come out to be a little crazy.
Well, yes and no. It's really a very complicated issue. You've always got people behind the cameras who have their own personal feelings as well, and who want to push those feelings too.
How does the media impact you on your own religious faith or beliefs?
Doesn't really that much. Doesn't have like that much of an impact because it's like not a lot of things that I see on TV. It doesn't go with my religion.
I don't let it affect me ever. I just believe what I believe. I don't let like other people have like inspired me to change my mind unless if they like say something really good.
They don't. Nothing really sways me that easily. I'm very opinionated and headstrong, so whatever I believe in now, I probably won't change in like 20 years.
To be perfectly honest, the media doesn't affect my personal beliefs at all.
I don't really listen to them, really. I don't follow what they have to say, politics and stuff. I don't like it. I don't deal with that.
The media has strengthened my belief in the fact that an iPod will lead to happiness in your life. That's why I bought one.
I definitely agree with him when he said that I bought an iPod because they told me that it'd lead to happiness and everything. It was kind of, I got my iPod because everyone else had one, and everyone else seemed to be enjoying them. Now I can't go without it. So I guess in that way, the media affected me more than I thought it would.
I know, it really does, because that's the only reason I got an iPod at first. Now I really do use it, thankfully, because it was so expensive, but like their whole marketing thing just on TV commercials really convinced everybody in our generation that you need an iPod. Besides iPods, how do you think the media portrays people of faith?
I think it really depends on what type of show it's going to be, because they can either do it really well or they can make it really extreme. Like I know for one instance, like John Paul II. When he died, there was a lot of positive media coverage. But like when something bad happens, they only show the bad in it. They don't necessarily show like all the other things, like the good things that happen. So I think like most of the time it's negative feedback that they're getting.
I agree. It does depend on what you're watching, because like you could be watching Joan of Arcadia, which is a fantastic show that I was introduced to in religion class, or you could be watching like South Park, where they're showing all the radical religious people and poking fun at them. And it is funny. Like looking at it negatively, I mean, that's what gets the laugh, but looking at it positive gives you the message.
I think, do you want to go?
No.
Okay. I think that they mentioned it in the rulings that the Passion of the Christ, I thought that was a positive media, but I think the reviews were kind of negative, but you really have to see the movie for yourself, and it's put in a positive light.
Yeah, I definitely think there's certain things, certain media that tend to ridicule religion, like cartoon shows a lot of the times, like The Simpsons and South Park and Family Guy. You know, they always tend to take that comical, you know, ridiculing people of religious faith, like Ned Flanders in The Simpsons. You know, he's kind of the butt of every joke. So
it's sort of funny you say that, because I think sometimes they might use like someone of a Christian faith or any faith as like the scapegoat of a joke, because religion is something that people are not necessarily like to talk about in positive light. It's only like, how can we make this funny? How can we make this interesting?
I think what's unfortunate, though, is that some people see the negative points and really think that that's what's most true about certain religions. We are faced with the challenge of discerning between media that is truly positive and media that twists our perception of the world.
it isn't an easy thing to do.
Next, Allie tells us how she goes about making these choices.
Let's check it out.
I definitely think the media twists news programs and shows to create whatever hype they want to create. So if it's negative, they will definitely go in the direction of their story being negative. And if they want something positive and they want a good feeling to come out of their story, then they will make it fall on the more positive side. I'll always take in every different version of things that the media have to offer, but it's a filtering system that I use now. If it's something that I think has been spoken about unfairly or isn't something that I should be looking at or listening to, then it goes off. That's it. I mean, I'm at a point now where my beliefs go above just being introduced to anything that's out there. I really do have a good filtering system. I think as I grow older, I have more knowledge to build on each subject that I'm faced with. Before I had a limited amount of knowledge, so I wasn't questioning as much, I was accepting more, and now that I have more knowledge, I'm questioning more and expressing my faith to everyone. My advice to teenagers is question everything. Don't take written word or even spoken word for what it is. Use your belief system, use your instincts in everything that's handed to you, and always incorporate your religion and God and faith into everything and every decision that you make every day. My faith absolutely keeps me grounded. I use it every day for every decision that I make, and thank God that I do have it, because there is definitely some things out in the world that, had you not been a person of religion and faith, you could be steered in a terrible direction. So I do thank God that I have my faith.
It seems that the older Allie got, the better she got at discovering the truth.
It is true, too, that the media many times twists and turns the truth to create hype, to attract viewers, to make money.
Are you guys aware of how the media tries to manipulate us?
Of course, they make whatever they're trying to advertise or the message look elegant and cool.
They hit your interest, and that's when they really get you. Like, they persuade you to buy their product or watch their movie or watch their TV show.
Yeah, marketers are trying to attract a certain audience in particular, and they're trying to persuade them to buy their product.
Right, or they take these things like violence or promiscuous behavior, and they turn it into like average, everyday things, social norms, and so people feel inclined to follow them.
There are a lot of positive messages that the media communicates about faith and life.
However, there is also much that is destructive, deceptive, and runs contrary to what we believe.
As one of the largest groups of consumers of media, we have the unique opportunity to transform the media. Here are some things you can do.
Take the time to really become media literate.
Make sure your listening and viewing habits are informed by your faith.
Don't support media that is disrespectful to your faith or to your values.
Write to the producers of records, television shows, and movies, and tell them what you like and what you find offensive.
Don't be silent.
Edmund Burke was right when he wrote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing."
Jesus spoke out in his day against the false teaching and the lies that led people astray.
Like Jesus, we must be vigilant about what we accept as truth and be willing to let our voices be heard.
How does the media influence you? Do you think the media fairly represents people of faith?
We want to know.
Contact us through our website.
The address is www.realfaithtv.com.
Or you can call us at 609-406-7402.
And we leave you today with this quote from the United States Catholic bishops in their statement on the media, titled, "Renewing the Mind of the Media."
We encourage our Catholic youth to speak out against the abusive manipulation they are subjected to by the media.
Families and young people, especially working together in church and community groups,
are an indispensable force for limiting the influence of those who would misuse the power of communication, and for encouraging those who use it well.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on Real Faith TV.
God bless.